So, Vicky, your ex-wife, was bringing you westerns.
Yeah.
And what was it about westerns that was appealing?
It, once you get to, I mean, you're in a little certain spot every day with these bars. And at this time, I didn't see the outside.
Couldn't even see
No.
the sky or
The
anything.
sky or anything. Couldn't go out on anything. And we would get to reading these books, and I was back riding horses. You know, they describe the clothing, the hats, the boots, the belts, and I love that type of thing. That's the way I dressed. So.
And you had ridden horses a
Yeah,
lot.
yes, I was. I mean, I got my first horse before I got a bicycle. So.
What was his name?
Charlie. He was a Tennessee Walker.
Really?
My last one was Paint. Her name was Paint.
So, yeah, I can see reading about horses, cowboys, westerns, and who were the authors you liked?
I forget J.R. Roberts and I forget who wrote Jake Logan. But then even Sandra Brown, she wrote a western. I read both of those, and so I started reading romance. Sandra Brown, Nora Roberts, you know, and I got hooked on that.
I think people would be surprised how many prisoners
Like
read romances. Is it true?
Yeah, yes. I mean, they'll talk trash about you, you know, while you're reading, but they want to read the same book. Yeah.
Okay. After you were sentenced to death, come to death row, what change does that make, or did that make back then in the way you started thinking?
Well, it was culture shock. My movements got even smaller because even in the county jail, being in that building, I could move from my cell, my single man cell, out to a day room and socialize with people. Now they put you in a little box by yourself.
Solitary.
Solitary. I mean, even though you're around 30 or 40 people, it's still just your spot.
And that spot is how big? What about the dimensions of it?
You walk like 6 steps one way and maybe 7.5 the other one. You know, you can jump from one side to the other.
And your shower and your toilet are both in there?
Not at Tucker, it wasn't.
Oh,
The shower
that
was
was
out.
where you were, death
Yes.
row was at first?
Yes.
But it's been at the Varner unit
Here now, yeah.
for, what, 10 years? Something.
Something like that, 10 or 13.
And so here, everything's in your cell?
Everything's in your cell.
And they pass you your food in the cell?
Which is fine in the sense that you don't have to worry about anybody when you just sitting still or don't want to talk to anybody. And it's fine to have your own shower. I love the part of having my own shower and my own TV. But the part of not being able to have contact and talk with a person, to have a private conversation with, or just a conversation in general, or share stuff like we normally like to do, you know. People hear death row, they think of vicious criminals. Death row, the people on death row are not the same people that they convicted. There's nobody back there that's the same person.
What do you mean?
When you hear death row, they'll tell you it's the worst of the worst. That's not true. I mean, of course you got some nutty people in certain spots and some who just mean, but the majority of us back there are just everyday people. They're your next door neighbor, you never know it. They share and share alike.
But all have been convicted of
All have to
murder.
be convicted of murder in some form or fashion.